Users of Reddit, what are the struggles of being attractive? People will perceive you as snobby if you are both incredibly beautiful and quiet. Additionally, you frequently receive creepy remarks. Edit as a lady to the sentence to clear up any ambiguity. My Sil is really striking and beautiful. She was talking one day about how she's so confused why people keep telling her versions of "I thought you were a bitch / stuck up until I got to know you." I was like, I don't want to be weird, but it's 'cause you're gorgeous, sorry. People have the weirdest prejudices. Yes, I've been standoffish my entire life, but I'm hella nice. Yes, as a lady, it can be difficult to balance being beautiful and quiet without being perceived as snobby. I remember a time when I was out at a restaurant, and a man said something really creepy to me. He said that I was too perfect to be real. It made me feel really uncomfortable. It can be difficult to tell if a guy just wants to screw or if he's actually interested. Some guys will wait around and say all the right things for sex. Some people, women in particular, will assume that I'm trying to get attention / steal their man when I am just existing. I see you over here trying to steal my man. Lady, I just ordered a drink, and your man is the bartender. Constantly getting hit on by assholes. If I wasn't interested, I was considered stuck up. At the same time, perfectly acceptable men wouldn't approach me, considering me to be out of their league. It was also very intimidating being stared at all the time. This is the crux of the problem, isn't? Getting attention by assholes so much that anyone who knows better will not approach you at the fear of being considered one of those buttholes. How do you define perfectly acceptable though? Good looking? Well-dressed? Or polite and wholesome? The biggest struggle of being attractive is trying to figure out if there really is more to life than being really ridiculously good looking. I bet there is. Maybe helping kids who can't read good and who wanna learn to do other stuff good too. The kids will learn fast since they can't take our eyes off us. If you are not really good looking, the kids will look away and then they won't read good. It's hard to tell if people like you for your personality or just for your looks. Some people never have to develop a personality because everyone treats them like God's gift from a young age. Well, they do, it's just later in life. The Karen trope is often attractive well-off young women who never had to put a coherent thought to words their whole life, coming up against the reality of a world they can't be an asshole in anymore. Generally, there aren't a lot of real people that don't grow and develop to some degree. Young attractive women who have narcissistic tendencies often mistake reactions to their behavior as jealousy or vindictive behavior against them. Attractiveness doesn't cause narcissism, but it can exacerbate it. I work with a lady who I suspect for most of her life she was considered very attractive. She has the confidence and vapidness of someone who is used to getting her way. She is blonde and has an athletic build and puts pictures of shoes in her email signage. Now in her late 50s, early 60s, she had suffered some kind of facial paralysis where one would not meet her and think she was good looking. She struggles with complex processes and concepts with a dismissive attitude like that's for other people to figure out, despite the fact that our team relies on her positional abilities to do our job. It is sad to me that she never learned the competencies and was promoted up every time she failed previously. She is extremely rude and disrespectful and cannot fathom why people don't like her. She must have been able to develop those personality traits early and reinforced them throughout her young life. They no longer work for anyone. If you aren't being rude to someone, they might assume you're flirting. If you are mean, you are a jerk or a bitch. No middle ground. This would be my biggest issue for sure. People think I'm flirting with them when in reality I don't even want to be in the same room as them. I'm just being polite. Some people mistake kindness for flirtation because they're only kind to people they want to bang. Potential stalkers, being considered dumb, attracting jealousy / envy and or false accusations if you're unwilling to play ball. I once got approached by a weird older guy outside my high school who wanted me to pass a message along to one of the hottest girls at school. I did so that she could pass along the information to the police, who apparently were already investigating this guy in response to her complaints about him stalking her. Creepy as hell. The unwanted attention from guys who won't stop trying hit on you, and then getting mad when you don't reciprocate, probably cancels out a lot of the blessings of being hot, along with the fact that it can and usually does all disappear at some point, leaving you with your other qualities that you may or may not have cultivated while your looks took care of everything. In college, I was in a friend group for over a year when the topic of tuition came up. I mentioned having a scholarship and they legit surprised asked, "Wait, boss knock. You're smart?" Be sure to subscribe so that more relaxing and interesting Reddit videos will show up in your feed. Thanks for watching, enjoyed the rest of the video. It's harder to have friendships with a member of the opposite sex, if you're both straight. I imagine it's similar with members of the same sex if you're both gay. Sometimes you'll think you've got a great friend, and then realize they either have romantic feelings for you or are just trying to damn. It's also difficult for gay men. I've had a hell of a time making friends in the LGBT community. I'd say a good half of the guys I've tried to be friends with only wanted sex and cut me off when they learned it was unlikely. Of the other half, almost all also wanted sex but were content with being friends. Especially hurtful when you've been friends for a long time. I've had friendship last for 5+ years, feeling super safe and secure, only for them to try something that made me realize they just wanted something more all along. TBH, in all my adult life, there hasn't been a single male friend that didn't try to have something with me. Not knowing if you're loved for your looks or for who you are. Not knowing if your partner will be there in 20 years because your looks will fade. Always wondering if your looks are the cause of things being easier or given to you. Aging is one of my worst fears. Frown doesn't help that people say women age like milk. I'm so scared of those constant what ifs. What if my partner stops being attracted to me once I'm 30, 40, 50? I've been with my wife for a decade. She doesn't get as much attention as she used to in public, and has expressed similar fears. You want to know where my attention is? Right where it's always been. Her laugh still makes me want to do anything to earn another one, and if anything she's only more beautiful now. I treasure every wrinkle. Every grey hair. I always will. This is the woman I want to grow old with. This is the mother of my child. She is and always will be the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. I can't speak for all men, but my opinion is echoed by my closest friends. They love their wives. In our eyes you will always have a glamour filter that makes you look just like the first time we ever saw you. I can still picture my wife ice skating on our third date in May of 2013. I knew then I was in love. She was so graceful. So beautiful. So insightful, casually brilliant. Nothing will ever change that. That's what I still see every day. In my opinion, women don't age like milk. They age like porcelain, more beautiful, and more delicate with age, treasured more as time passes, at least to the partners who love them. This is coming from a guy, so I can only imagine how bad it is for a female, but respecting personal space and being touched. Being nice is confused with flirting. It seems people then feel comfortable grabbing your ass or crotch, rubbing your thighs, or rubbing your back. As a result, there's more effort put into where you're standing and actively not being too nice. I'm also conscious of where I'm standing in a crowded area or who I'm sitting by at a booth or table. For me, it's most often women and followed with something like "I wish you were straight," or "if you ever change your mind, let me know." I guess when you're attractive people think consent is fluid. This a million times. Yeah, this. As a guy, I've been told to go pleasure older women, had my chest and arms and stuff rubbed out of nowhere, gonna climb you like a tree, etc. A few cases of what would be outrageous sexual assault if the roles were reversed, but because I'm a guy, it's assumed that I'm into it or that I would be able to fight people off, etc. if I didn't want it. Straight man with thick, long, curly hair here. I've been in bars where men will start touching my hair and trying to play with it and shit. I'm flattered, but keep your damn hands to yourself. Making friends. When I was younger, people would only talk to me cause they wanted sex. Now I'm older, and have severe trust issues, but have friends that are actually friends. Yes, that is definitely a struggle. It can be hard to make genuine connections when you think people are only after one thing. It's even harder when you have trust issues because it's difficult to let people prove themselves trustworthy. Have you found any strategies to help with this? Growing up, I was always a tomboy, a cornball and one of the smart kids, nerd. The boy I had a crush on from kindergarten to 6th grade only talked to me if we were discussing a play at recess when I was the only girl playing touch football with the boys. Anyway, I went to private school in middle school and not only developed D-cup breasts on my size 4 frame, but also learned about makeup and clothes from my wealthier female classmates. When I started back at public school in high school, it was weird. Tons of guys started asking me out, even the popular guys. The thing was, I was still that socially awkward, sarcastic, realist geek on the inside. I hated that people that ignored me for years were suddenly trying to bring me into their fold. I hated how mean and superficial they were, and frankly, a lot of them were not that bright and boring to talk to. I've been with my husband since I was 19, 38 now, so I don't really think about how anyone perceives me physically besides him. I can say this though. As a woman who is very handy and has done countless home renovations, if I go to Home Depot in bummy clothes, no makeup and my hair a mess, no one talks to me. If I go with even just some mascara on and a cute outfit, men will come up to me left and right asking if I need help finding something, whether they work there or not. Lol, I always want to be like, bro, please, do you need help finding something? Unwanted or dangerous attention. Yes, that's true. For example, some people might make inappropriate comments or even try to touch you without your permission. It can be very uncomfortable and scary. This. Being followed around in public. Being followed to your car. Being followed home. For some reason the grocery store is always a hot spot for this behavior. Aging hurts more. When you're already ugly, becoming old and wrinkly doesn't seem as bad. Or you age like Brad Pitt. It's not the getting old and wrinkly so much as you lose the pretty privilege you're accustomed to. Also, after decades of being beautiful, being good-looking becomes a part of one's identity, and when they start losing it, they feel like they're losing a huge part of themselves. Thus, if they've just spent their entire lives relying on their looks, it hurts them harder. The good-looking people who have other things going for them such as education, careers and other interests fare much better. I mean, I don't think I'm a hottie, but I guess I'm considered conventionally attractive. I don't know, feels weird talking about myself that way, haha. Anyway, I haven't had this issue now that I'm in my late 30s, but when I was younger and out in the bar scene, girls would be so mean to me for no reason. I was in the bathroom one night doing what you do. I came out of the stall and there was another girl in there who started mean mugging me hard the second we locked eyes. I smiled at her and continued with my business. I was wearing a dress, so I checked myself in the mirror to make sure it wasn't tucked into my underwear. She screamed at me, "Yes, your ass looks great, get over yourself." I was completely in shock. I don't handle confrontation well, so I just left. Later that night, she walked by me and pushed me. I didn't even know who she was, never seen her before in my life. But damn did she hate me.